making the case for Christianity, Jesus' death and resurrection. If someone wants to seriously investigate Christianity's truth claims, they need to examine the historical argument for Jesus' resurrection from the dead.
Oh, for crying out loud!
You're making a lot of assumptions.
How do you even know he existed?
It may surprise you to know that the vast majority of historians and scholars, even atheist scholars, believe that Jesus was a real historical person.
Really?
Yes, really.
Really?
There's very little skepticism about Jesus' existence. It's an accepted fact of history. And these historians also think that the books in the Bible, especially the four Gospels, are the best sources of information about him. But where many scholars are skeptical is in respect to the Bible's accuracy concerning everything Jesus said and did.
Yes, can't believe everything you read, can you?
Right, sort of. There are some good criticisms that can be made of this whole endeavor to try and sift through the Bible. But when Christians make their case for the resurrection, they set those criticisms aside and basically just accept the agenda of critical scholars. That is, Christian scholars don't start out by assuming the Bible is the perfect, inspired Word of God. If they did, they would, more or less, be assuming what they are trying to prove.
That would be dumb!
I agree. Assuming what you're trying to prove, also known as arguing in a circle, doesn't make for a good argument. So these Christian scholars just treat the Bible the way they would any other historical document. Then they look for certain key events that even critical historians accept. This short list usually includes at least two things, namely that Jesus died on a cross and that his disciples claim to have seen him alive after his death.
That's it?
Well, in addition to these 2 points, different Christian scholars will add a few other well-established historical facts. For example, Dr. Gary Habermas points out that the lives of the disciples were transformed as a result of what they experienced. And this transformation was so dramatic, they were even willing to die for it. Another scholar, Dr. Michael Licona, emphasizes the fact that Saul of Tarsus, an enemy of Christianity, also experienced what he described as a resurrection appearance.
You said these scholars wouldn't assume what they tried to prove, but now they're just assuming Jesus rose from the dead.
No, you didn't listen carefully. Licona and Habermas don't assume that Jesus actually resurrected. They just build their case on what the vast majority of scholars accept, that Saul of Tarsus and the disciples claimed to have seen Jesus alive after his death. Whether Jesus actually rose from the dead in a real, historical, and supernatural manner is something else. You see, there are other possible explanations.
Hallucinations?
Right, that's one alternative explanation. And some skeptics, when they seek to explain these historical facts, have made that argument. They say that Jesus' disciples never actually saw the risen Jesus, they just hallucinated him.
Makes sense to me.
On the face of it, it might seem like a plausible explanation. But when you dig deeper, there are a lot of problems. The biggest problem is that large groups of people reported seeing the resurrected Jesus at the same time. And they also say he interacted with them by giving them food to eat or inviting them to touch him. The probability that a whole group of people had exactly the same hallucination and that this happened on multiple occasions, well, that's just, how should we put this?
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's so unlikely, in fact, that it would be a pretty incredible miracle, maybe an even bigger miracle than the resurrection itself.
So what about other explanations?
There certainly are other possibilities. For example, there's the swoon theory, which is popular with many Muslims.
Oh, I'm swooning with love.
No, not that type of swoon. The idea here is that Jesus didn't really die on the cross. Instead, it just seemed like he was dead.
Like he's dead, but not really dead.
Yeah, that's the idea. But there are at least two problems here. First, we know that Roman soldiers who killed Jesus were very good at executing people. They did it all the time. Second, even if the soldiers messed up and didn't actually kill Jesus, the swoon theory still wouldn't work.
And that's because
if Jesus managed to survive both a serious scourging and an agonizing crucifixion, he would be a bloody mess and need serious medical help. Then if he actually survived, it would take him a long, long time to heal. Nobody would look at him after just a few days and think he had somehow come back from the dead in a new resurrected body. Keep in mind that the disciples gave their lives to tell the world that we can be resurrected just as Jesus was. But that doesn't make sense if he never really died and if he never really resurrected in a new glorified body.
So I guess you think all the other explanations have problems too?
Yes, that's how Christian scholars make the case for the resurrection. They go through all the alternative explanations and show all the problems with them. Then they argue that the best explanation is that Jesus actually came back to life, that he supernaturally rose from the dead.
Got it.
In these 3 short videos, we've made a brief case for faith in Jesus. But if you'd like to learn more about all this, I invite you to check out Worldview Summit's other videos. If you're interested, just click on the link for more.